Yesterday's scorching weather's badly damaged crops right across the state. Some farmers who were growing wheat and barley for grain have decided to cut them for hay.
For many, it was a cruel season-ending blow as the mercury climbed to 35.6 in the city. Harsh winds whipped through our farming districts.
It's very hard to watch because, well, you can just see your year's work disappearing before your very eyes.
Jim Frank's family has been farming near Malala for 150 years. He's never seen an October like it.
Really nasty. The wind just has such a drying effect and a burning effect as well. The barley's got a whitish tinge across the top. You can just see it's not the rich green that it was this time last week.
In the later finishing areas, it's going to be costly.
If knocked there, you would back perhaps 10 to 20%. Instead of a head having, say, 30 to 40 grains in it, it would cut it back to anywhere from 15 to 20 grains. So over a whole crop where there's billions of heads, that's certainly a lot of grain that you don't get to reap.
The crops around here are still green enough to benefit from some rain, not that there's any on the horizon. But further north, up around Port Pirie, the season is all but over and harvest has begun. Some crops damaged by frost last month and now heat are being cut for hay.
Those crops haven't been planted for hay. You know, it's devastating to the guys that have got to do that. They've planted it for the grain crop.
Jessica Adamson, 7 News.
A census with a difference is being held across the country next week. It's counting mice. With fears of another devastating plague this season, farmers are being asked to record feral activity using a new mobile phone app.
Yorke Peninsula grower Ben Wondersits knows all too well the damage mice can do.
It's in the tens of thousands to potentially control all these mice, and if we lose our crop, it's considerable.
Numbers are on the rise again, and at scenes like this, growers fear a plague in 2011 cost them $200 million. Ben's using wheat laced with zinc phosphide to bait the mice before seeding begins.
The grain's really only an inch and a half under the ground, so they'll just potentially go and dig it out before it germinates.
Researchers hope some citizen science, a census where growers use the app Mouse Alert, will provide them with critical data.
Tell us a bit more about where the mice population is, you know, what sort of crop types you're seeing it in, whether they are causing damage at the moment.
The app allows growers to record and look at mouse activity in real time. In the long term, researchers hope the extra information will improve response times and minimise damage.
We're looking for information to plan what we're doing, so look, I think it's a positive.
Jessica Adamson, 7 News.
An almighty battle's unfolding in one of Adelaide's biggest greenhouses north of the city. It's good bugs versus bad bugs, and the results are producing cleaner, greener veggies for consumers.
The Mussolino family grows 1.3 million lettuces each year for our independent supermarkets. They've long used pesticides to keep the bugs away in what was a weekly ritual.
We're now stretching that out to 6 to 8 to 10 weeks, depending on what's happening in and around us.
That's because of this plant, saltbush. Grown around the lettuces, it brings good bugs with it, which eat the bad bugs.
There's a range of really good bugs that live on those salt bushes. That might include ladybirds and a range of predatory wasps.
It's a win for consumers.
I'm more delighted that I'm not using chemical and I'm passing that benefit on to my consumers.
And they recognise the market is demanding that. People want to know they're buying clean, green product.
There's a message here too for backyard veggie growers. Planting native vegetation around your patch could save you a trip to the hardware store.
I've got no doubt that you'll get a much reduced impact on your tomato plants if you manage the surrounding areas very well and provide that habitat for the good bugs.
Jessica Adamson, 7 News.